we're so glad you're joining us for the second episode of Inside Clips for the 2022 season. I'm your host, LAURETTE NICOLE, and I'm so excited to recap the Atlanta weekend with you. So most drivers state that Road Atlanta is one of their very favorite tracks to battle on, and it's no wonder. With high-speed initiations, a blind uphill into a challenging prescribed line, and a sold-out crowd of devoted fans, Road Atlanta always brings a party. A few things of note: in the top 32, we saw Travis Reeder advance past Nick Novak, and we watched as a few battles later, Dylan Hughes faced Mike Power. Dylan Hughes was forced to call a competition timeout, and when he headed back to his hot pits, we saw Travis Reeder offer up his rear axle for Dylan to install on his DHR Royal Purple Falcon Tire BMW and use during Dylan's second half of his battle against Mike Power. Dylan's team fought like crazy to install the axle, but unfortunately 5 minutes was just not enough time, and the win was awarded to Mike Power. Hats off to Dylan and his team for the hustle, and to Travis Reeder for such a generous offering. Ken Gucci debuted his brand new Toyota Racing GR86 and had one day in the car before it hit the track. Unfortunately, Gucci suffered a slave cylinder failure and was knocked out in top 32. However, his confidence is high in the build, and we are so sure we're about to see amazing things from both the new chassis and the driver moving into Orlando. Now, for the event recap. With the momentum of his round number 1 Long Beach win ushering him into round 2, Ryan TUERCK was one to watch stepping into Atlanta. Personally, I feel pretty confident in saying it's almost expected that you see him advance into the Final Four, but here in Atlanta, he was knocked out in the Grade 8 against teammate Frederick Osbo. Ryan explained his weekend to us, starting with qualifying.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to say this is what well, it is. We had a fourth gear synchro issue, so I couldn't shift into fourth gear, and it made me straighten up. And that was kind of it. That happened in my chase lap in the one more time battle. So we went back out there. I was able to get it back into fourth on my lead lap and ran a good lead lap. But you know, coming back from a deficit of a full straighten is pretty much a no go. So that was it. That was our Atlanta. I'm just glad. I'm glad we drove well. The team worked awesome today, this whole week, and we got an awesome setup on a car for next season to work off of. So it's a lot of positives to take away. Just use those podiums.
How about young gun Brandon Sorensen, who celebrated his 18th birthday the Thursday of Atlanta? And about his results, Brandon said this.
Yeah, we got the win up against Chelsea Genofa, which is like huge for us. And then Odie Bacci's in the top 8. He's a super solid driver. It was a very competitive battle. Both drove super clean, and he took the win fair and square on that one after one more time. But Grade 8 felt really good, and I'm just looking forward to getting the win hopefully this year.
On Friday, Rad Dan Burkett qualified the highest he's ever qualified in 4th. And then on Saturday, we saw him advance into the Grade 8 and battle Chris FORSBERG, where Chris advanced into the Final Four. With a huge smile, Radical Daniel answered the question, was there one thing that you could pinpoint to why everything seemed to fall into place for round 2 for you?
So, I can't pinpoint it to one thing. It's definitely the team, it's definitely me, it's definitely the car. So everything kind of just came together perfectly, but it's not just like, oh, that happened. It's kind of like something we've been, building towards, working towards, and it all finally is like, I guess, happening because of our efforts. So we made some changes to the car, little stuff from last round to this round. We were not actually able to test them because I'm trying to move from California to Florida with a shop, and it's been massive amounts of effort into that, finishing out some stuff at the shop. So anyways, we hoped it would work. It did work really well. It made the car much easier for me to drive, and then it was kind of in my mind, was like the other thing I'm saying myself. So the team had my back with all the stuff that we put in the car, and then I just took everything that's in my mind and like threw it in the trash and just said, hey, you know how to do this? Don't think, just go drive. So that's kind of what happened.
Early into the morning hours after the event, I walked up to Matt Field's trailer and found him signing autographs and happily chatting with the last standing fans before I pulled him aside to talk about his event.
After qualifying first and looking at the bracket, it was like, all right, you know, it's going to progressively get harder through the night, and I didn't get a whole lot of like actual battles, right? I think that's Atlanta, right? There's so many weird things that happen. Entries flying off course, dirt dropping, cars braking. It's just kind of what happens here because of the nature of the track. And then I found myself in Final Four, you know, the top 4 with Chris, and I knew, I was like, all right, this is going to be the battle that I haven't had for 2 rounds now, right? I haven't really had a full battle where somebody's car didn't break or somebody didn't go off course, and I was kind of banking on that. And then my car broke. So would you look at that? Everything that we did, everything that we've gone through, all the prep, still drift cars find a way to break themselves in a way that you never expected. The blower belt shredded and knocked the crank sensor and pulled the wires out. So it's just like, literally never happened. I've had this car 4 or 5 years, something like that. But that's drifting, and I'm on the podium, and we're sitting great in points, so literally no complaints. Time to refocus and get this giant freaking tent taken down, headed out to Orlando, and get ready for that.
Chris FORSBERG and his team debuted the all-new Nissan Z in Long Beach, and in Atlanta battled his way to the finals against Frederick Osbo, placing 2nd. Here, Chris recaps his adventures with the new build.
Yeah, the team was incredible. We got this car with less than a 6-week window to get it together and to Long Beach. We actually put our dyno day and test day aside to have more time to just make sure the car was ready, and we showed up to Long Beach. Friday was the first time I ever drove it, and it was actually on the track in practice, official practice before qualifying. And we qualified 8th, and we finished in the top 8 as well, due to a transmission failure, which sucks. We didn't build a transmission, but we got it all fixed up, cleaned up, and brought out here to round 2. And with no mechanical issues, we drove it all the way to the finals. I thought we were gonna get the win. We ended up with 2nd. That's all good for a fresh car, brand new build. 19 years running in this sport, finishing 2nd place, the first ever Formula Drift event here in 2004, and doing it again here today. We're just here to keep killing it.
Yeah, I love it. And I heard the judges say that there were 4 tires off. Did you get lost in the smoke?
Yeah. So we did it one more time in the finals of Frederick Osbo, and then as you know, we're coming around, I was trying to push through and make sure I stayed close because he's got a lot of drive down the hill. And so I just transferred early to try and get through and get in the pocket, but it was just that half second too early, which puts the car just that 10 feet to the right, and it put 3, maybe 4 tires off, but 3 is enough for a 0. So it was just that half beat too early, trying to get in the pocket, but ended up in the dirt. So, you know, you gotta push, you gotta try.
Your winner, Frederick Osbo, was interrupted by me as he and the team were breaking down the tent. As the guys were putting the pieces away in the rig, the defending champion explained how challenging getting to the top spot really is.
It was very, very hard fought, not gonna lie. It started not an ideal way. We were struggling in practice, we had some car issues, blah, blah, blah. Made a fumble in qual, didn't get the line right, but eventually we got better and better, and we kind of used the battles as practice a little bit. And I think that my most favorite part of tonight was how we all got faster and faster and faster. You know, Justin quite fast, but more on the style end of things, fantastic drifter in its true form. And then Ryan, who was on form, and arguably, I was sure we were going to lose that battle. And then he had a hiccup with a transmission issue, which took him out, or you know, it was not ideal in his end. And then we faced Odie, who was lightning quick, and we finally got Odie after him taking me out the last couple times we battled. And then in the finals, Chris FORSBERG. He is not only a 3-time champ, well, he's a 3-time champ for a reason. He really shines when speed is involved. And this track, I think, is one of those tracks where speed is very much a deciding factor. And we basically ended up trying to blind each other through that last corner. I could not see at all. He couldn't see at all, and in the end, he had a bigger mistake through the last corner, and that sealed the deal. And you know, there's so many people that have come up to me and said, "Dude, your car's a freaking rocket ship," and they're not wrong. And I agree, but Chris's car is the rocket ship as well, and I personally love it when it's all out like that.
Okay, gang, thank you so much for joining us here at Inside Clips. We'll see you in just a few short weeks heading into Orlando, Florida, May 20th and 21st, where we'll watch round 1 of the Formula Drift Prospect Series kick off and round 3 of Formula Drift. See you then.